At this point of this video, we're still waiting to see if they're going to announce the next Nintendo Direct, and I just want to say that if they don't do it, it's really no big deal, guys. It's gonna happen this month. We know Joker's coming in April, so don't freak out. And it's most likely going to be a late April release anyway, even if they do the Direct sooner rather than later, but it doesn't really matter. So anyway, I want to go ahead and quickly get on to the subject of Chrono from Chrono Trigger. So, Chrono from Chrono Trigger is kind of funny because there's two leaks regarding him. One was a French transcript of the Direct that was going to be, I guess, a Smash based Direct that would go really into detail about all the Smash characters. One of my problems with leaks like these and other leaks is that a lot of them are based upon other leaks. Because if you keep mentioning the same characters, it brings more credibility to each and every leak. Though for me, as each and every leak it proves to be fake, it really just makes it so if a character is popular and talked about a lot, it means his chances aren't any more likely than anyone else's, and they are actually, there's a lot of credibility to them being fake rather than being real. Chrono, sadly, has started to become under that exception. And the reason why is because there's another leak that was the German eShop leak where someone found a screenshot, or someone took a screenshot of like data that was in the German eShop or whatever. I don't know if they had to data mine something or get into the system, or I don't know how they did this. I don't know if Nintendo supposedly had it up for like one day. I don't know everything about this leak. But the thing is that I already kind of discredit that leak because the characters just seem too out of nowhere, too unreal. And sometimes people like to make those kind of leaks where the characters seem out of nowhere and unreal because it becomes more believable if the characters aren't totally predictable. For example, pretty much nobody predicted Joker. No one was hyped for Joker at all. And then Joker was revealed, and a lot of people did not see it coming, as the song implies. So the idea is that if you say something crazy and out there, it might blow people's minds. But the thing is that in my tier list video I just put up before this one, I know I like to make these videos always relevant until all the DLC is revealed. I don't want this video just to be unrelevant within a week. I still want it to be relevant. So. But in the tier list video I made, I had a category called Everything Adds Up, and I'm making a new tier list video soon, and I'll probably even release it today, where it says the stars have aligned. And my point here is that if I was making a tier list and Joker wasn't in Smash already, or at least wasn't on the way, I would be saying in that video, Joker's in the very top tier, everything adds up, it's perfect. I actually kind of called Joker before he was announced because I sat and thought about the possibility and the reality of it all, and it actually really made sense. The character is incredibly relevant, incredibly popular. He's from a very popular and beloved franchise. The creators of said franchise have a very, very good relationship with Nintendo. So it just all kind of made sense. And let's not forget, the moveset potential is extremely, it's right there. It's in your face. So characters like that, to me, the only other character I think as just as likely as Joker is probably Banjo and Kazooie. And that's just from analyzing all those factors. The only one thing that Banjo has that Joker didn't have is that there might be some muddy waters involving, a third party or, a different first party company, Microsoft. So it's up to, Microsoft, but it seems like Microsoft would be willing to do so. So it doesn't seem like this is impossible. It actually seems like this is very possible. So now let's move on to Chrono. Chrono, I have in a different category. Chrono, I would think would be really, really damn cool, but I just don't see why Nintendo would choose this character. So the second leak that I saw with Chrono, it actually existed before this new French transcript leak. That's the German leak I was talking about. And in this leak, they said the first one would be Joker, which we know. The second one would be Chrono from Chrono Trigger. Okay. The third one would be Cuphead. That's where you really start to lose me on Cuphead. What's worse is the next option being the Doom Slayer or the Doom Guy. I know some people are really stuck on Doom Guy, and some people have actually commented on my video talking about the Doom Guy and why I don't think it's possible. And um, I don't think they made a very good point. I think they thought they made a good point, but I don't think they actually did. And I'm still really pretty much saying I don't see how Doom Guy could be possible at all. His weapons are just too violent. And it's not just that they're violent, because like Bayonetta is violent, and I also want Scorpion in the game. He's a violent guy. But the reality is that he uses guns that shoot bullets, and that's unprecedented in like Smash games. Snake famously doesn't use any guns, even though if the character wanted to be more accurate to Metal Gear Solid, he would use guns. So he doesn't use any guns. He just uses bombs. He uses bombs and explosives. That's what he fights with. All the Snake's weapons are exploding bombs, and it kind of fits that theme really well. And it ends up making Snake a really kind of fun, cool, unique character. And it ends up making him a character that sets a lot of traps and uses projectiles and stays away. And at the end of the day, it actually kind of works and fits the idea of Snake, that he has to sneak around, and it actually really works in a fighting game like Smash. So they did a really good job with Snake in that perspective. But again, we haven't seen a single character use actual gun with bullets. And I know I've said myself, I would like to see Master Chief, but if Master Chief was in the game, I would honestly suspect they would not use any of his UNSC weapons. It would be none of the Marine or Earth human weapons. It would be the Covenant weapons, or the Brute weapons, or the Forerunner weapons. It would be lasers. It wouldn't be bullets. Of course, explosives, probably yes. Maybe even Spartan laser, something like that. But I just don't think Doom Guy. And then the fifth pick. Man, I can't even talk. The fifth pick was going to be the character from Yokai Watch, and I know some people think that Yokai Watch characters have an actual chance in Smash. Let me tell you something, people. Assist trophies exist for a reason. Okay. All right, and characters who aren't good enough to be in Smash become assist trophies. Okay, not just every character becomes a Smash character. There is like unwritten rules here, and it's kind of just like what Sakurai determines. And I see no reason why, am I supposed to believe that Yokai Watch has had the same amount of popularity and love as a game like Splatoon? No, there's a reason why Inkling is in the game. Everyone predicted Inkling would be a character in the game. Everyone wanted Inkling in the game. People were happy in eating it up. People really wanted Inkling. And a lot of people really like Inkling now that she and he have been introduced into Smash Bros. Ultimate. And so the idea that like Yokai Watch is as popular as Splatoon or anything like that, it's popular with kids, don't get me wrong. But that's all the more reason why it should just be an assist trophy, and it really shouldn't be anything more than that. Especially, I mean, it just doesn't scream like Nintendo's new brand. Like, as far as like their franchise, like, yes, Yokai Watch is doing fine for itself, but it's not really like, it's just not really there, in my opinion. So, what it really feels like is if it was going to be in the game, it would have already been in the game. That's my opinion on that. So basically, this second Chrono leak is actually the French leak, and the German leak was the first one. Now, at first I thought maybe there's some credibility to this idea that Chrono will be the second character, because two different leaks are saying Chrono. But here's the funny thing. Because that other leak mentions 3 characters that are so unlikely, it just really puts doubt in my mind. And then when it comes to this next leak, which I think is already deconfirmed, because I don't think the Smash Bros. Direct is announced yet, and I don't think it's going to get announced. I think it's already deconfirmed that, so we can already kind of forget everything in that French leak. It's not real. And it really didn't seem believable to me in the slightest anyway. But another part of that leak is that it mentioned there would be a Minecraft stage, and not only a Minecraft stage, but a Minecraft boss battle. Now, the funny thing is that Verjabin said he was really shocked that Minecraft content wasn't in Smash, and that Maybe it'll at least be a stage or a boss battle. And he knows for a fact it was going to be a boss battle or something like that. But I guess it'll be added in later in an update or something. So that was mentioned in this other leak. And the idea of Chrono being in the game, I think, is pretty strongly deconfirmed if the second character is announced and it's not him. So if you're watching this video way down the line, you're probably just laughing at these ridiculous leaks that people were actually thinking about later on. The sad truth is, a lot of these leaks always turn out to be fake. I mean, the reason why we all trusted Virgibin is because he seemed to actually have a decent point. He seemed to actually have credibility. He would say stuff and it would come to true. It would be real. It'd come to life. Um, but even he got a few things wrong. One of the things he got wrong was he said there'd be another Square Enix character coming. Another thing he got wrong was Minecraft content would be in the game. He kept changing his mind about what this Minecraft content would be. And I don't know if he just was that damn lucky. It seems like that's impossible, but he did get some things wrong. And the thing is that things change within game design development. Maybe they were planning to do Minecraft stuff, and then Sakurai realized it was just too hard and not worth it. Maybe he realized it was just a bad idea. So, and maybe that's why they decided to do a different Microsoft character, and possibly it would be DLC, because there is that one point where Sakurai said, you don't get too excited thinking there's going to be a bunch of more characters. He said, we really showed off a lot of characters in that one video. And I think it's because he was probably saving more for later, and maybe Steve was a part of it, and maybe a Square Enix character was a part of it, and maybe they couldn't make the cut, something could have happened. I don't know, and this is all speculation, so I have no idea what happened there. But let's talk about Chrono. Now, Chrono already, it's like, we're talking about Chrono outside of any sort of leak. Chrono is a character who is not impossible. He doesn't have no chance. He has a chance. But in my opinion, there's just too many other Square Enix characters that I think people would rather want. For one, I know a lot of people would probably prefer Chrono over any character from Dragon Quest, and myself included. But is that what Square Enix and people who work at for Nintendo and everyone else, is that what they would want? Is what they want Chrono over everyone else at Square Enix? When Sakurai is really good friends with Nomura, the creator of Final Fantasy, well, not Final Fantasy, but the creator of Kingdom Hearts, who has worked on Final Fantasy games, directed Final Fantasy games like Final Fantasy 13, for example, and is the designer of Cloud. He's the creator of Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children and all that stuff. He basically owns Cloud Strife, and he gets it was really a big he was a big crucial role in getting Cloud into Smash, because Sakurai reached out to him and they talked about it and he was down for that idea. So would he want Chrono? When Sakurai's friend at Square Enix is Nomura, would he want Chrono, or would he would say something more along the lines of, "Hey, let's do Sora in Smash"? None of it. It seems like there's so many people involved with this game that would not really want to choose Chrono. But also, even when it comes to the fans, if you had to ask the fans which Square Enix character they would pick, a lot would probably say Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Some would probably say Terra from Final Fantasy VI, aka Final Fantasy III here in America. Or maybe someone would say, a lot of people would literally say Sora from Kingdom Hearts. A lot of people would say Sora from Kingdom Hearts. And I don't think many people would really even say Erdrick or anyone from Dragon Quest outside of just people who are hyped for the idea of one of these leaks being real. I don't think anyone earnestly wants a Dragon Quest character. Maybe in Japan they do, but I don't feel like anyone here in America does. So to me, it just doesn't seem likely that they would. I mean, I'm sure if you ask a lot of people, if you could pick any JRPG character you want in Smash, my pick would probably have been Rex and Pyra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. After I made that video about them, I played the game and I realized how much fun it was, and I actually really fell in love with the game, and I understood why people supported those characters and supported that game. And it's kind of a shame that I really don't think those characters will be in the game at all. Hopefully, they'll have a chance in the next Smash game, but I don't think they're coming this time around at all. Then we have so I mean, basically, what I'm trying to say here is that Chrono doesn't have the best likelihood. He doesn't have the best chance right off the gate or right off the bat coming out of the gate. Um, Chrono really isn't quite there. However, his moveset potential could possibly blow everyone else out of the water. Now, some people, like the French League, tried to say what his moves would be. I personally think that his A attacks would be different, like slashes with his sword. He has like a more samurai like stance as he uses like a more samurai like sword. Whereas like other Final Fantasy characters use like medieval knight swords and stuff like that. And then of course you have Cloud with the Buster Sword, but which is basically just a big great sword. But Chrono uses like a katana style. He uses like a samurai blade. And I think one of his weapons even is a katana. But and then he already has MP special moves where he does different attacks. And the fun thing is about Chrono Trigger is that depending on who's in your party, who's on your team, they can actually do team attacks with you, and those will actually change to different elemental statuses and stuff like that. So it would be really cool. That we're always trying to decide, if the next character could have something really unique and be really different from the last Smash character to separate them, giving them a new gimmick and a new playstyle for any player. Chrono could easily fit that mold because he could probably do 4 different moves, whether it be up special, down special, forward special, and neutral special. Maybe one of those special buttons would change the elemental type of his attack, and he would do the same attacks, but they would do different elemental damage with slightly different effects. I don't know, this is just like an idea I'm throwing out there, but he has a lot of like these kind of fusion attacks with his party members. Now I haven't played Chrono Trigger in a while, but that's what I remember from the game. And I at least played it, last time I played it, I think I was in middle school when I played it last. And I know I beat it before middle school too. Like I know I beat it twice. It's not a very long game, and actually it's one of the first games to incorporate like a new game plus feel to it. So it's actually it's a really creative and smart game. So I really feel like it could easily happen. I feel like Chrono actually makes a damn ton of sense. The only issue being is why, like moveset wise, he's a perfect fit for Smash. It would be fucking badass. But my only real thing is saying why? Like why him over Sora, who would also have a damn good moveset? Why him over Sephiroth, who would also have a very interesting and unique moveset? Why him over Erdrick and Dragon Quest, who are way more relevant, and I don't know if their moveset would be as good, but at least that is a franchise that's long lasting and also iconic in video game history, whereas Chrono Trigger was just one game that was once upon a time. Now, is Chrono Trigger one of the best JRPGs ever made? That's not the debate, and I would honestly say, yeah, it's got to be in like the top 5, at least the top 10 best JRPG games, at least if we only count turn-based ones or something. Like, Chrono Trigger is way the fuck up there as far as JRPGs go, maybe even as far as just fucking RPGs go. Chrono Trigger is way the hell up there. It is a critically acclaimed, beloved, famous game, and it's a masterpiece for its time that has stood the test of time. That is, every time it's ported over and re-released, it always does well, and it's always beloved by its fans. So it's like, again, it's not that it's impossible or that it makes no sense. It's just, when I was a kid, I always thought like Squaresoft's 2 biggest games were Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger, and I always wanted to see a crossover game where Chrono Trigger characters and Final Fantasy characters were part of the same universe. Nowadays, I would say Kingdom Hearts is, bigger than Chrono Trigger. And so that's just, it's funny. If you were around before Kingdom Hearts, if you were around in the 90s or maybe even like the very, very early 2000s, you would be saying, Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy, that's Square. Like, that's the thing. If we're talking pre, PS2 era, then yes, Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy. But sadly, we don't live in that era anymore, and I think that Kingdom Hearts has taken over the mantle, and I think it's a franchise that stood the test of time and become beloved, and it's been around for years and years now. So, in my opinion, I think Sora has just way more relevancy. But the difference between Sora and Chrono is that Chrono, I think, has like three factions that you have to all get to agree, and one of them Square Enix, and it shouldn't be too hard to get them. Um, and Sora has like you have to worry about Disney as well, though again I don't think that's much of a problem. Anyway, so we talked about his move set and we talked about likelihood, but now let's talk about his colors. Sadly, Chrono doesn't really have like alt costume potential. He would just have like differing colors for his costume. Though they could easily make one that's more of a reference to Frog or AKA Glenn. And it could be fun seeing how if they could make references to other colors of his party members. But I wouldn't want them to change his iconic red hair. His iconic red hair is really what makes him. He looks so damn cool. Honestly, seeing a 3D render of him that's based off of like his portrait art on different, like on the cover, and also like in magazine art, that could be really fun to see. So, and especially if he's doing like his actual like in-game stances from the game and like his victory animations and stuff like that. So, as far as like his actual like looks go, yeah, he could be awesome. But his colors, sadly, like only thing I could see them doing is making them based off of different potential party members in the game. I don't think they would do much more else with Chrono. So, sadly, he doesn't really have the most amount of potential. Like, kind of another knock against him as far as DLC goes in my book. Maybe not in everyone's book, but in my book. Mainly, I already kind of said my main concerns with Chrono, that the leaks involving him seem very fake to me at least, and um, it's just the reason to pick him just seems really unlikely. But I just don't want to say it's impossible, especially with that moveset being so damn good. The moveset could potentially be one of the coolest sword characters in the entire game. Like I'm just being straight up here. This is a character I really have no faith in personally. That I think that some people, if they want to have faith in it, I think it's fine. I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's not offensively stupid like certain other characters are. But man, that moveset would be so damn good. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave this one here. I don't want to, just kind of repeat the same points over and over and over. I don't really have too many other points to make. I know some people. I usually I say like what stage I would want for this character, but basically, if I had to choose a stage for based off like Chrono Trigger, I would probably choose any stage would be kind of fine. Maybe just like one of the forests or something where you fight the little goblin guys. But I would want it to, as time goes on, the stage change different time periods, and maybe have some of the background enemies reflect that, depending on what time period it is, because that's a big part of Chrono Trigger is traveling through time. So and that I mean you do that in the game. You go to the same places on the map, but at different time periods. So to me, yeah, it just makes a ton of sense to do something like that. So yeah, let's have it. Let's have at that. That seems like the best possible choice for a stage from Chrono Trigger, but sadly, I just don't think that Chrono Trigger is going to make the cut here. Again, I think we should be looking at characters like Sora and maybe Erdrick, but I just don't think Chrono's quite there. But if you notice, this video isn't called Chrono Probably Won't Be in Smash DLC. This video is called If Chrono is Smash DLC because, like I said, it's not impossible. It's totally possible. It would be a weird out there pick. Sometimes Nintendo likes to do that, though. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I'm going to start working on my tier list video, the new one, because I think I've made a much better one already, even though I just released one. And guys, let's just enjoy waiting for this direct together. Don't get upset if the direct isn't soon. It's coming in April. just think about Avengers. You got to wait for that too. Okay, so wait for Avengers. Uh, watch Avengers, and then worry about the direct. If the direct comes up and happens to happen before Avengers comes out, great. Otherwise, just worry about Avengers, guys. Okay, that's my secret. So don't get too hyped. Don't get too upset if you're let down. Um, we might not even get the next character reveal at all. So let's just stay calm. Try to enjoy Smash Brothers together. And hey, man, at the end of the day, be grateful for how many characters are coming to the game, how many, and the characters we already know, like Joker. That is still really cool to me. And if you're a fan of Chrono, you're probably also a fan of Joker because those are two characters from two amazing JRPGs. So, and if you are a fan of only one of them, you should probably play the other one, whether it be Chrono Trigger or Persona 5. You should probably play those games because they're both awesome. So, anyway, I'm going to end it right here. I'll catch you guys on the next one.